There's another question. You were at the Times meeting with Donald Trump last week. Were you impressed at all about his presentation or grasp of issues?
It's been so nice to be with you this evening. I'll tell you what my big takeaway from the meeting was. I got to sit directly across the table from the president-elect. And we live tweeted the whole thing, and we've run the transcript online. You can hear the video. It's an amazing journalistic enterprise to be a part of. Something that was unique. I'd never been in that kind of situation, where I'm literally talking, asking a question, someone's tweeting it, and people outside the room are following it, live. But what comes really across is this is not a big secret. It's not a man who learns by reading. This is a man who learns by who he talks to. And I thought it was very revealing when he was asked about his position on torture and waterboarding. And he said, he was in favor of torture and waterboarding until he sat down and talked to General Mattis, a former CENTCOM commander, Marine Corps commander, who told him that actually sitting a prisoner down with beer and cigarettes actually works a lot better. And actually trying to have a conversation with them and draw them out. And so really my takeaway and what I wrote the next day in my column is that Trump's been running for president for 15 months. I think the people he's been talking to, the small group he's been surrounded by, are some extreme characters. And now that he's been elected, his world has opened up to more people. In the meeting, he said, Bill Gates called me. Tim Cook called me, the CEO of Apple. And my hope as a citizen is that more of these people will engage with him and change the balance of power, the dynamic within his circle, open it up to the world, that the only peephole to the world won't be through his son-in-law, but actually be through a wide network of people. And hopefully he will find his way to a set of policies that will take us into the 21st century the way we need to. But if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. And my fear is this election was about so little of a vision, anybody's vision, that started with a diagnosis of the world. I worked on this book for the last 3 years. It's all I've been doing, as Gidi and others can tell you. And it's the hardest thing I ever did, because I just gave you the Moore's Law part, but there's a whole part about globalization, and there's a whole part about Mother Nature. And so I had to learn about a lot of different subjects, then arbitrage them together. And it was incredibly stimulating, but it was moving fast. I'm constantly trying to figure it out. And I can't imagine running the country today without having gone through an intellectual exercise of saying, where is the country at? What are the big forces shaping our world? And how do we get the most out of them and cushion the worst? And I fear, Gidi, that we're going to, at the national level, back into that problem rather than dive into it headfirst with a clear vision. And that was my big takeaway.